I need a zero clearance insert to reduce chip out while performing crosscuts on the table saw. For safety, always unplug the table saw when working around the saw blade. Trace the outline of the existing throat plate onto some flat wood that will become your new insert, and mark the orientation of the plate. I'm using 1/4 inch MDF. Trim up the parallel sides close to the lines without crossing the lines. The workpiece should almost fit into the opening on the saw. Trim up the curves with a thin saw capable of turning corners. I used a bandsaw with relief cuts to cut the curves. Cut close to the lines but do not cross over them. Shape the new insert with sandpaper that is glued to a flat surface. I used a high grit and a medium grit sandpaper glued to melamine. Start by sanding the parallel sides to fit snugly into the opening. Next, work on the curves. Slide the insert into the curve of the opening and mark where the curve of the insert touches the curve of the opening, and use the sandpaper to remove that section until all of the curve on the insert meets flush with the curve of the opening. Mark, sand, and repeat until a snug fit is achieved on both sides. Precisely drilled holes at the adjustment screw locations will allow a small screwdriver to make adjustments through the insert. Drill the holes too big and the adjustment screws come through the hole and the insert is scrap wood. Alternately, do not drill the holes and make adjustments with the insert removed. Using a 1/2 inch straight bit in a router, I cut recesses where the insert contacts different parts of the table saw that inhibit it from sitting flush with the tabletop. Removing the riving knife and lowering the blade, I insert the original plate below the table's surface and my new insert on top of it. Clamping the insert down with a sacrificial board, I plunge cut by slowly raising the spinning blade, raising it at least until an opening is cut to 3 or 4 inches long. I reset the throat plate to its normal operating height and cut the rest of the insert's opening using the fence, while only cutting on the front of the table saw to avoid lifting the workpiece and potential kickback. A raised blade will cut a more vertical line, which is handy for cutting the opening for the riving knife. I finished the slot opening with the riving knife in place with a plunge cut while the insert is securely clamped down into the opening. Adding a finger hole makes it easy to remove the zero clearance insert. I used a Forstner bit, and my rule is the smaller the hole, the better. Before the insert can be used, a pin needs to be added so the insert does not tip forward during use. Glue a small block of hardwood on the bottom rear of the insert and insert a small nail to catch on the lower side of the tabletop. This will prevent the insert from tipping forward. Applying finishing wax will help the workpieces slide over the insert smoothly. Now to take our test piece to see how well the zero clearance insert prevents chip out. Here is a close look at the chip out with the standard insert versus the zero clearance insert. I will let you be the judge.